Hi people. This video is about learning Power View, and the book we're using is the High Impact Data Visualization in Excel with Power View, 3D Maps, Get and Transform, and Power BI. The Power BI tools were necessary because Excel has a limit of 1 million records. But obviously, we've come to a time when people are collecting our mouse clicks, and you can imagine how quickly one could get to 1 million records on just one single person by counting mouse clicks. So, Microsoft invented these different power tools: Power View, Power Pivot, Power Map, and we need to learn Power View because it helps us to create really beautiful visualizations that you can incorporate in your videos. So we're going to use this book to learn about matrix tables, the play axis, and highlighting chart data. This is the file that I've been using for years for this lesson. The book comes with a website, and the website has files in it, but these files aren't as helpful as this one, and I'm going to share this with you on Blackboard so that you can replicate this lesson on your own. The first thing I'm going to do is make a new name for the file because I haven't uploaded it to Blackboard as yet. And I'm going to call it copy of car sales worked. And that way I'll put the right one in Blackboard. All right, so what we're going to do is launch Power View. So I go to Insert, and I see that I have Power View over here twice. We're going to put a third one in there so that I can show you how to add Power View to your computer. So we go to File, and then we have to scroll all the way down to Options. And once we get to Options, we're going to click on Customize Ribbon. And then on the left side, you're going to pick Commands Not in the Ribbon. But since I already have it there, I have to go to All Commands. Scroll down to the P's, find Power View. Select it. On the right side, we're going to select the Insert menu like this. And then we're going to go to the bottom here, and we're going to say New Group. And we're going to say Rename. We're going to call it Report. And then we're going to go Add to bring Power View over to that. Then we're going to say OK. And when we go Insert now, we'll see that Power View is here 3 times. Well, I only see it twice, but you get the idea that it's going to be loaded over here, and I'll click on it now. This is going to be a lot like working with pivot tables. We're going to pick country name, and that's in countries. Make, and that's in this sales table. Color, and these are Brits, and they think that they're the original people for the English language, but we know better. We're Americans, and they have it all wrong. And then we're going to get sales price and gross margin. I say the Brits have it all wrong because, look, they don't even know how to spell color. sales price, and gross margin. Okay, so we can click on this little thing. Once you mouse over it, you get this thing. It says pop out. I think it says pop out. So we can click on that and it expands the table, and we see that this is a pretty large table. If we bring the elevator thing on the right down, it just keeps going the size of our table, and it's massive, and it's just too much data to look at. So let's make it into a matrix table, clicking on design. Over on the left we go to table and we pick matrix, and this makes it a little easier to cope with. It takes some of the extra text out of there and just gives you headings, and so it's much easier to deal with. Now I'm going to make it even more compressed. I'm going to go to design, and I'm going to just mention that you have something here called totals, which is not what I was originally talking about, but you can add totals to the table and that'll complicate it a little bit, but it's not necessary today. So show levels, and then it says rows, enable drill down. Let's pick that. And now this compresses the table into something really nice, small, and you can deal with this. Now, what we see over here is that it has France as the top country and the US at the bottom, and that's just simply unacceptable. We want the US at the top. So let's rearrange the table alphabetically, and if we click somewhere around here, class, it will sort the table differently. So let's click over there, and we have to keep clicking. I can't see where the thing is that would reorder it. I actually can see a little dark spot. By the way, class, I have changed the resolution on this computer so it's as large as it could be. It's just one of those things. So sorry about that. Trust me, I wish I could fix this. Now we notice that the pound symbol is used on all the numbers, and now if we click on US, we'll see that there's a little arm pointing downwards, and we can click on that and we go to the next category. This is the make, and we see that Bentley has two little arms, one going down and one going up, and we can click the down going arrow and it gives us the colors. And then the colors, there's no more categories underneath colors, so we can go up with the little arrow and up again. Now I actually made a mistake. I was supposed to show you something else, which is that I would remove color from this table by just sliding it over, move color out of the way, and then so it didn't move, so I have to go up here and unclick it. And let's add vehicle type. And instead of letting vehicle type live in the rows area, let's put it in columns. So let's drag it down to columns, and this will swing out the table so that it's more complicated looking. We also have the totals that went in automatically, but I don't really want the totals. They kind of complicate my life, so I'm just going to say no totals. And now when I click on US, it's not going to have as many levels of drilling down, just one level of drilling down to the Bentleys. If I put color back in, it'll let me go to the next level. So there are many other things that you can do in this matrix table part of the book, and it's all in chapter 2. I have a PowerPoint that I'll put up, and it'll show you what parts of the book cover the 3 things that I want to go over. But I'm trying to keep this video short and sweet so that you can actually enjoy it. All right, let's go to the next thing, and that is the play axis. Now, to show you the play axis, I just want to show you a very brief video from Hans Rosling. He is one of the one of the fathers of visualization.
So this is where I realized that there was really a need to communicate, because the data of what's happening in the world and the child health of every country is very well aware. So we did this software which displays it like this. Every bubble here is a country. This country over here is this is China. This is India. The size of the bubble is population. And on this axis here, I put fertility rate. Because my students, what they said when they looked upon the world, and I asked them, what do you really think about the world? Huh? Well, I first discovered that the textbook was Tintin mainly. And they said the world is still we and them. And we is Western world, and them is third world. And what do you mean with Western world? I said, well, that's long life in small family, and third world is short life in large family. So this is what I could display here. I put fertility rate here, number of children per woman, 1, 2, 3, 4, up to about 8 children per woman. We have very good data since 1962, 1960 about, on the size of families in all countries. The error margin is narrow. Here I put life expectancy at birth, from 30 years in some countries up to about 70 years. And 1962, there was really a group of countries here that was industrialized countries, and they had small families and long lives. And these were the developing countries. They had large families and they had relatively short lives. Now, what has happened since 1962? We want to see the change. Are the students right? It's still two types of countries? Or have these developing countries got smaller families and they live here? Or have they got longer lives and live up there? Let's see, we stop the world, and this is all UN statistic that has been available. Here we go, can you see there? It's China, they're moving against better health, they're improving there. All the green Latin American countries, they are moving towards smaller families. The yellow ones here are the Arabic countries, and they get larger families, but longer life, but not larger families. The Africans are the green down here, they still remain here. This is India, Indonesia is moving on pretty fast, and in the 80s here, you have Bangladesh still among the African countries there, but not Bangladesh, it's a miracle that happens in the 80s. The imams start to promote family planning and they move up into that corner, and in 90s we have the terrible HIV epidemic that takes down the life expectancy of the African countries, and all the rest of the world moves up into the corner where we have long lives and small family, and we have a completely new world. Let me make a comparison directly between United States of America and Vietnam. 1964. America had small families and long lives.
All right, let's try to do a visualization like that called the play axis. So what we'll do is we will add a new power view. And to do that, we'll just go to Insert, and we'll go to Power View. And we need to bring in 4 fields. The first one is color. Sales year to date. I'm sorry, sales price. So in terms of this book, you often have to give something that isn't written in the book: ratio net margin and ratio gross margin to cost. Great. Okay. So the first thing, we get the 4 fields in there, and then we go to design and we pick other chart, bubble, scatter chart. It's also called a bubble chart. Great. Now, in order for this to move around the way that we like, we have to add a time element to it. So we're going to add something from, see, it says here date table. So we open that up. Then there's a year hierarchy. We open up that, and something here in the middle, quarter something. So we want that. We're going to drag this down to the play axis. Now we'll also take color and move it into color to give us a nice legend. All right, so right now it has year in here, and I don't know why that's there, but you can take year away by clicking on it. It says remove field. And you see, once we remove it, it doesn't look as congested over here. Let's also just pop this out because it's the only visualization we're going to put on this page. Now let's move color down to color so that we have a nice legend. All right, and then the play axis is down here, and we can click it. So there's some verbiage about this in the Aspen book in chapter 5, and you can certainly look at that if you want to know more about the play axis. But I've told you the fundamentals. All right, we're going to now go to highlighting cell data. So we'll do Insert Power View. And this time we're going to make a very simple chart. The first one is going to have country name, delivery charge. Spare parts sales cost. And labor cost. Okay, so that's 5 fields. And then we go to design and we pick clustered column. Pop it out. And then if we pick something from the legend, one of the items, and we click it, then it highlights that item and grays out the others. So it's just a way of making the information a little more dynamic. And I like it anyway. Now, if you want to bring back the highlighting of everything, you just click in the chart area, not on the chart things. Not on. So if we pick another category, and then just click in this white space that's part of the chart, then it brings it back. All right, let's insert another power view. And this time we're going to create 2 charts. So the first one is color and net sales. And we're going to turn this into a pie chart. Other chart pie. And we can make it a little larger. And then click in the white and we'll create a second chart, another clustered column. So this one needs vehicle type and sales cost. So vehicle type is the last field here. Vehicle type and sales cost. All right, and then we'll make this into a clustered column. And make it a little larger. And now if we pick one of the pieces of the pie and click on it, it filters the column chart. To take the filtering off, you click in the white area of the chart, and then we'll go over here and we'll click one of the columns, and it does this kaleidoscope thing that I just like. I like the way that looks, class. So that happens. If you click on the white, then it takes the filtering away. Well, class, that's what I had for you. I'm going to stop the video now and hope that you have a lovely day and can learn Power View from this. And happy distance learning.